Hey, welcome back. Noah here. I just started a new job at an architecture office about 2 months ago, which is why it took me so long to release this third devlog. I've still managed to get a bit of work done every night, and after trying out this new routine for around 2 months, I think I can still work on the game at a good pace. So, for the past 2 months, most of my time was spent developing the character customization system, which involved drawing lots and lots of sprite sheets. But before I show you that, I wanted to show you a little minigame I made. I love games that offer a variety of minigames, which give you a little break if you get tired of playing the main game, and also helps to make the game world feel more alive. This is a little pumpkin house that could appear in the game every Halloween, and this minigame involves collecting as many pumpkins as possible in a given time limit. These pumpkins could be a unique item that you can only get during Halloween, and you would use them to make unique pumpkin-themed dishes. Now, normally it's not a good idea to go off on a tangent like this, but I found making a new map and a little minigame gives a nice breather from spending a long time on really tedious parts of the game. I think this applies to making any creative product, whether it be game design or architecture. To reach that amazing end result, there will be a lot of grinding and tedious work. No matter how passionate you are about something, it can still get boring at certain times. So finding little bits of fun stuff to do here and there really helps to keep that passion going, and you won't bore yourself and become demotivated. And on that note, I can show you some of the more tedious work involved in making a game. For me, one of the biggest draws for any RPG is that you can collect various items to customize your character with. I definitely wanted to incorporate that element in this game, but the problem is, it requires animating every single item based on every character movement. Animating pixel art is unique because it requires the use of sprite sheets. So this is a typical sprite sheet. It can be drawn in a variety of programs, for which I usually use Photoshop. Then it gets put into Unity and it gets cut up. Using these individual sprites, you can create frame-by-frame animations. Now, it's not too hard to set up one sprite sheet, but when every item needs to be animated, well, then you get a lot of sprite sheets. So here's a typical sprite sheet for a jacket, and then here's one for some pants, both of which have to match the body underneath. Here's the sprite sheet for hair, and then the eyes, and the various body types for humans and androids. Now all of these will be imported into Unity and rigged to animations, which also takes quite a long time. This whole tedious process of drawing sprites and rigging them to animations for every body part took around a month. Currently, I've created enough items and animations to get the character creation menu working, but there will be more animations and clothing for the character in the future, which means updating all of the sprite sheets I've drawn so far. Definitely not looking forward to that. Now, after all of the animations are set up, I got to the slightly more fun part of connecting them all in the character creation menu. And the way the character is set up, it's made up of one character prefab with multiple game objects attached to it. The body is animated underneath, the hair, eyes, clothing are animated on top. The body's, hairs, eyes, clothing are all scriptable objects, which makes them easy to swap in and out and easy to save. After all of that work is done, it took another week to get the creation screen working. Also, I added a placeholder title screen just to make the start menu a bit more presentable. Currently, there are enough slots to save 4 different characters. So here, when I click New Game, it takes you to the creation menu. There's a couple additional features on this screen, including some buttons that let you turn and move your character to see what every side looks like. You can also choose between human or android characters here. Android characters provide different skin and eye colors. You can enter your name in this box here. I'm probably going to come back in the future and add some more custom fonts to make all of the texts look nicer. Here you can change skin color and eye colors, and currently there are 12 hairstyles for each gender with 7 hair colors each. Some of these will be unlocked during the game and not right at the start. And the bodies and legs can be adjusted as well. In the game, these will appear as items that you can buy and sell. Finally, I really like the Fallout series special system where you can customize your character's abilities right at the start of the game. I included a little UI here with some stat wheels. I think determining these stats right at the beginning of the game could greatly influence the player's playstyle for a specific character. I really want to make this game open-ended and almost like a sandbox so players can roleplay however they want. So after finishing character creation, you get dropped off right at the beach. In the future, I'm definitely going to add some sort of story, so there may be some form of cutscene or tutorial. With the character customization added to the game, you can now buy equipment and see their animations. I added another form of clothing known as overalls, which take up the body and leg slots. Here's an example of this. And when you equip leggings, it just bounces the overalls back into the inventory. Every piece applies different stat bonuses, so this legendary black chef coat will be super helpful when you're cooking at the restaurant, because it will apply a ton of cooking bonuses. If you are a game dev and want to learn how to set up an inventory and equipment with stats, I learned this from a super helpful tutorial series by Chryzarel. The link to these tutorials will be down below. Character customization through scriptable objects can also be easily applied to the NPCs. In the restaurant, I can now instantiate pretty much an infinite number of different NPC looks. The randomizer script selects from a list of predetermined options and applies it for each new character that is created. And you can kind of see the different options available here. There are still some bugs here and there and some animation glitches, but pretty happy that it's running mostly smooth. One final piece I worked on was the hotel interior. I wanted to find a way to go up and down stairwells without changing scenes, and found a makeshift method through turning groups of game objects on and off. In some older games, it was really annoying for the game to load every time you walk up and down stairs. On the second level, there's a hotel room where your character can stay in. There may be an option in the future where you can choose to play as a wandering chef, and you would start in a hotel instead of a house. So that's all of the progress from the last 2 months. It's getting really close to the point where I can put together a working restaurant gameplay, so I'm hoping to jump on that as soon as possible. As always, any feedback or suggestions are greatly appreciated. Please subscribe if you want to see more updates in the future. You can also follow my Twitter if you wish. I regularly post pixel art there if you want to check that out. Thanks for watching the video and see you next time.